G'day, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home at Tottenham, past, present, and a now extremely excited future. I am buzzing. Dave Harris was crying. I'm buzzing. Me was running around the house with the Tottenham shirt overhead, singing Yippee-Yi-Yay. And forever, Philip was doing, he was just singing Tom Jones in the corner of his kitchen. So we're all excited.
Yes.
Sorry, I had that one written down already in my head, so I knew I was going to say that.
Yeah, you timed that one well, all right.
I did. Anyway, good afternoon. I hope you're all well. Philip, how are you? Are you excited?
Yeah, that was a decent enough interview. Now I have to say, it was so different from Conte's, where he was talking in riddles all the time. At least this guy talks straight talking, and you know exactly what he's saying. Very good, excellent.
Yeah. And Mia, have you calmed down yet? Have you stopped running around your house with a Spurs shirt over your head going yippee-yi-yay?
I have indeed, yes. No, Joe, what he speaks so well. I really like the way he talks. He's very straightforward with his answers. Like Philip said, there's no riddles and trying to read between the lines. You know, Spurs between the lines.
Great plug! Great
change your name now, Mia. Spurs straight from the hip.
Well, yeah. So, but yeah, I really like it, and I was excited to hear what he had to say. To be honest.
Look, for me, it's great. I mean, you don't have to sit there with pen and paper trying to write down what Conte's saying and Philip says in riddles, trying to work out the riddle. Straight to the point. But we have what we got for you is sort of a clip of what he said in the press conference. We're going to go over that. We've got a bit of daily transfer news and a little bit of Spurs daily news. We've got the competition today where we're going to announce our winner. So, Philip, do you want to show people the bowl? Now, we did do a dummy run before. Now, Philip, do you want to tell everyone who actually won the dummy run?
No, let me say, I think it's the actual guy am I right in saying it's the guy that's providing us with the shirt?
It is.
Yeah, Colin. So, sorry, Colin, you won the dummy run. You mightn't win the real thing.
Just I'm going to bring this up, Philip, so you can explain to people what we've done this morning. So we'll just get this bit out of the way. So look, we'll bring this up here. So
this is what I did this morning was I transferred 110 euros to the Irish Cancer Society account. No, I did it under THFC Till I Die, but obviously the receipts come back with my name on it because that was on it as well. So you can see there. Your donation of 110 on the 10th of July, 2023 will help us achieve the goals. So that's where it's gone to. It's a very good cause. And let's hope it does somebody some good. And thank you to everybody who participated in the draw. It was a bit of fun. We'll have the draw now in a second. I think, to keep it absolutely clean and above board, I'm going to get my wife to do the draw. She's here. So I'll ask her to pick out the draw. Mary?
I think so. I think so.
This is Mary, by the way. So... yeah, she's just about to come in here and now stand in front of the camera there.
Hi.
Now just pick a name out of that.
Close my eyes.
Right, let's see who's got it.
Kate.
There you go. Well done, Kate.
There we go.
Just to show you, look.
Yeah.
And Kate, thank you to Mary as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Yeah, Mary picked out a good one there.
Yeah.
So
Carl Simpson says, "Hey, Mary." There you go. As I call her, Mrs. Brady.
I call her Mary. Call her Mary.
No.
So that's it. That's the draw over. And I mean, I have to say, Kate and Jim did all the entries. Kate and Jim had the most between them. So, fair dues.
So, Kate, we will get in touch with Colin, then if you can send us your address on the WhatsApp or to myself or Philip, we'll bring that over to Colin, and then Colin then we'll get that off to you hopefully today or tomorrow. So there you go. So Kate won the competition, and again that's the proof, isn't it, Philip? Basically,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's the amount we closed it off on Saturday at 110 euros, and that's all gone to them now. So
there you go.
Thank you very much.
That's how you do it, isn't it?
That's
how you do it.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. No problems at all, is there, Mia, on that? See?
No.
We show you how to
I mean, if you're an honest person, you display honest behaviour.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Now that's out of the way. Colin saying, "Watch your back, Kate." Carl saying. Right, now let's go through the chat. Who's in the chat show before we get on? We've got Carl Simpson. Good afternoon, guys, and everyone in the
Hi,
chat.
Carl.
United Spurs of America, and gives me tingles in my pants. In the pants.
TMI, Jacob. TMI.
I know how you feel, Jacob. I really do, so I know where you're coming from. And Carl says, I agree, Jacob. I'm all aboard the Ange hype train, so am I. We've got Jim, Bit Spurs Till I Die, Hi Derman, Philip, and Mia, my fellow Spurs lovers in Ange we trust. Well, that is for sure. Mia, big up to Mia. Don't know who this Mia is. I've seen her in the chat a few times, Philip. So.
Seen her around a bit, all right.
Yeah, I've seen her around a bit. So, hi, Mia. Hope you're doing well. We've got FTSM column. Afternoon, all. We've got Terry Wright. Good afternoon, everyone. We've got Wembley one. Afternoon, everyone. I thought I detected a resilient from Ange that he already realised his biggest battles of Spurs might not be necessarily beyond the pitch. So we'll go through what he has to say. We've got Kate. Afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. We've got Wayne Bonner. Hello, howdy, everyone. Hope you're all well. DJ Green Alert. Good afternoon, Derman, Phil. Hope and everyone in the chat. We've got Andrew Gregory. Afternoon, guys. Who else has come in now? Who else is coming in? We've got you. Ange wanted to talk about his plans for the club. The media wanted to talk about Kane. Yeah. We've got Cars saying, we've got Jim says, Mary, we love you. Yes. We've got thank you so much. There's Kate. Carl Simpson laughing at Kate. We've got congrats, Kate. She's saying she's doing a happy dance now. We've got Edward Y of Yoz. Hello, Governor. We've got Carl saying, watch your back. We've got Godfrey Drummond, afternoon panel, big up. We've got Audie Austin. The presser was like a breath of fresh air, straight talk, no BS. Absolutely. And we've got a super. Hang on, we've got watched your F1 Bahrain Domi. The way too aggressive at the start, but fun to watch. Yeah, I did one last night actually. I'm doing on the PlayStation. I'm doing a Formula One career mode stream. I've signed up to drive at Mercedes, and I was thinking I'd become the first Irishman to win the World Championship in Formula One. Well, my first race started in disastrous style, finished 19th, bashed everyone out of the way. It was a bit too aggressive. I will agree, Aaron, but it was a fun watch though. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's all, it's all done for a bit of fun. So yeah.
Were you 19th out of 18? Were you?
No, 19. Well, I did finish 14th, but I had a 5-second penalty for sort of doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. So being naughty on the track. So the next race,
doing donuts on the bends, were you?
Yeah, something like that. The next one is actually tonight. Later on, if I can't sleep, probably will be tonight, and that is from, I forget where it's from now, but the next one is tonight. So everyone join in, and the FIFA streaming will be back as well when I do some more FIFA career mode. Can I lead Tottenham to glory? So that's on as well. So it's a bit something different on the channel when me and Philip or Mia or Ellie are not here. It's something different. So you all keep watching and subscribing. We've got a super chat here from Jim. Big up, Jimmy says, thanks to THFC Till I Die, Colin, and of course, Mary.
I'll pass it on.
And Carl's saying, Dermo, it's a hard game. It's a hard game. The amount of penalties I get is crazy. Yeah, it is. It's good fun. I love Aaron says you took Hamilton out of it. Bonus point for you, I did. I got a good start, right? I was down to 10th place, and instead of braking, I forgot to brake, and I just took about 8 cars out in one go. That was a bit of fun.
As you do in Gory most days of the week.
Yeah, as I do, yeah. No wonder Derby complains about my driving. She is right, actually. I have to say. We've got Greener's best track on the computer game, South Park. Yeah, it is. That's the next race. It's Australia. That's where the next one is. So, yeah. We've got Solomon Jazz Fusion done in a manner of speaking, I guess. Yeah.
A manner of speaking. Yeah.
A comp winner, and I hit my 100 subs today. Well, congratulations.
Well done, Kate.
And then DJ, things coming through, Kate. How's your head? Yeah. And then DJ's in there saying to there. Right, Mia and Philip, look, I've got a poll in the chat, guys. It is, how excited are you after Ange's first press conference? Very excited, just happy. No, not excited at all. Where are you on that, Mia, first? Are you very excited, just happy, or no, not excited at all?
I'd say excited. I want to see football before I get very excited, but I'm sure I will be. But for now, I'm, tapering my excitement, and so just excited.
Philip, where are you?
Yeah, I think I'm the same. The talking is great. It's on the pitch. He needs to get the team doing the talking, and then we move on to the very exciting stage. But at the moment, it's very good.
Yeah, well, exciting. I'm going to say, sod the Perry. I'm going for very excited. And the poll is at the moment very excited, 39%, excited, 26%, just happy, 23%. And look, I would love to know who picked on no, not excited at all. That's 13%.
Must be an Arsenal fan watching this.
Probably must be an Arsenal fan because Spurs are coming after them. And I know Mia's getting ready. She's getting her anti-Arsenal defense ready, aren't you, Mia?
Oh, yeah, when it comes to them scumbags, I wear my war paint. Trust me. I take no prisoners when it comes to them.
Mia, you're something else. You're funny. Peter Spare says, do you want to read this one out here, Philip?
Yeah, congrats on your charity race. Can you give me streaming details for GOR?
Yeah. Yeah, we were supposed to... Yeah, if you get in contact, I'm sure if Kate can put it in there, Kate, if you can help out Peter, because you knew how to start up a channel and that, if you can, that would be grateful, just to give him a few tips.
Yeah, the second part's interesting, where he says, part of the Spurs, be prepared for a transfer coming out of nowhere. That's interesting.
I asked, I asked to let you off as you're part of the Spurs fan. I don't know. Who do you think that would be, lads?
No idea.
I do.
Maybe it's Cucurella. I don't know.
Maybe it's Pele. We were on about Pele last night. Mia, who do you think this is? Could be out of nowhere. Who would you like it to be?
Oh, do you know what? I'd like it to be like an Amrabat. That would be, if we could get him off of, because I think Man U are interested in him and somebody else, that would be like mega. But I feel like it could be maybe just a centre back that we were going to get maybe anyway. Like we need a centre back. I think it's going to be something like that. I don't think it's going to be that exciting.
Yeah. Anyway, Peter, Kate's getting back to you in the chat, so get in there and talk to her and we will help. Carl said there should be a horny option for Jacob. Yeah, I should have done that actually. Maybe in the over 18 show we'll do one then. How's that, Jacob? Give us what you think in the chat. There is 45.
All these lads, right? I tell you, that's all you guys talk about. Terrible behaviour.
No, me and Philip do not talk about them, do we, Philip?
No,
I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic because that's what I talk about, obviously, with Romero.
Yeah. How is he today? Have you let him out of your dungeon?
Yeah, he was allowed that for a little bit, just for like a little bit of a walk. You've got to give him some fresh air every now and again.
What are you going to do with Australia? Are you letting them out for that, or are you sending his?
Yeah, no, I'm letting him out for. He's allowed to go to Australia, but he's going to have a tag, so I know exactly where he is at all times.
If the police were watching this, right, we could have a live streaming of me being raided, looking for Romero.
Oh boy.
GJ Green Alert says, I'm not excited at all, Dan. I will get excited as soon as we have defenders, but with that, and we're going to get walloped. Long lay deal is still being linked. Yeah, I heard that too. We've got Sean Moran said, lads, are you doing a watch along next week for the West Ham match? We are, aren't we, Philip?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We both realised that we refused to pay money to Spurs play. And then we both realised that the pre-season friendlies are on Spurs play. So
we'll find another way to watch them, I'm sure.
So we'll have to pay for Spurs play. Levy always has a way, doesn't he? He always has a way.
Gets it out of you one way or the other.
Yeah, he does. And then we've got Jazz Fusion saying...
Vlahovic.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
It would be.
Mhm.
Due forward, I reckon. Yeah, I've heard we're after a Juventus forward.
Not Dybala again for the 138th
Yeah.
time, is it?
Yeah, we've got big up to Ellie as well. Says, hey, big up all. Dermot, Philip, and Mia just tuned in. Enjoy the show. Mia, we are gentlemen with a laughy face.
Yeah. If you
Yeah,
say
she
so,
believes
Paul.
She
We got
believes it.
we got United Spurs of America. Yeah, LMAO. And then we've got, I love this man's name, Dragon D Nuts. It sounds like an Xbox game. That seriously, if anyone's designing a game for the Xbox or PlayStation, use that man's name. He should sell that for rights. He'd get billions for it. So no point in getting excited who are bringing a decent centre back. Yeah, and then we've got Eugene as well. Hi everyone, big up. Purple and Gold leave you out. Big up Eugene. I hope you're doing all right. Now, guys, he's here. He's come and he's conquered. Now, Ange Daily News, Postecoglou on Kane, vision and success. He did have his press conference today. Very quickly, Philip, before we get into it, what did you think of it? What did you think how he presented himself, and was it a bit different from Conte's press conference?
It was like chalk and cheese, really. I mean, he was at ease. They were joking about how long it would take for a question to be asked about Harry Kane. He said that the coaching staff are having a kind of a bet on it to see who would win, and I think it was what you call him, the new coach, that won us, the guy who's played for Villa. Never think of his name. So yeah, it was just so different. I mean, you're sitting there watching it, and it wasn't like Conte's press conference is like me. They were like someone teaching you Shakespeare. You had to get the hidden meanings all the time. Whereas this guy, typical Aussie, from the hip, direct, no bullshit, and tells it as it is. And I hope that continues now because it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and Mia, look, how great was it to have him there? Do you know to see him in his first press conference? We're going off to Australia. Do you know, it's great, and he was straight to the point, wasn't he? In a lot of his questions.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like that he's direct, and I like the way he comes across. He comes across just very well, and I think he answered all the questions very well because considering that he did have to answer a few tricky ones like the stuff with Kane, I think he did really well with that. You know, he didn't commit and say, I know he's definitely staying. He said, you know, well, we'll get into what he said, but yeah, I feel like that he answered everything really well.
Well, we are going to get into it. This is on Ange Postecoglou could not resist, guys. Tottenham rebuild, a meant tough decision. Now, Philip, look, you and me have watched a hell of a lot of Celtic last season and the season before. I mean, he turned Celtic into they were great to watch. So
they were a shambles.
Are you surprised that he took the Spurs job, or was the Spurs job just too much to turn down?
Yeah, I think it was. I think if he hadn't done as well as he had done in Scotland with Celtic, we probably wouldn't have offered him the job if he hadn't. But I think he's won 5 out of the last 6 trophies in Scotland, right? To stay again next season in Scotland, he'd probably do the same again. Whereas now he's been presented with a big rebuild and a challenge that no manager that wants to go places can turn down, and he didn't. And I'm glad he didn't, because from what I've seen so far, of all the candidates that we had in it, I don't think anybody is going to be as forthright or as speaking direct. And let's face it, we're not going to be wondering what's happening. He will tell us what's happening, and that's great to have that after 2 years of what's the word I'm looking for? Riddles, really.
And then Mia, it says on why he took the job. It says on why he took the job. As much as the excitement around joining a massive club is the best competition in the world was attractive, the biggest thing about it was that it was an enormous challenge. I love that, and that's what I have done my whole career. I mean, it's very honest, isn't it? Very straight to the point.
Yeah, he is very straight to the point. He knows it's going to be a challenge. He's not trying to deny how much of a challenge it's going to be, but he's like, bring it on, mate. He's like, bring it. I don't care. I've done challenges before, so let's go. And I love that. I think that's brilliant. He's got confidence as well. He's a very confident guy.
He is. Now, he said his style is well constructed. He says, my teams have some basic elements. We want to be aggressive, to take the game to the opposition and to dominate and try to win every game of football, home and away. The history of this club suggests it is a good fit. Philip, he seems very much on the history. That's not the first time he said that. Every time you hear an interview, I've seen him one last week when they had the question and answer. He always answered was the history. What we've done in the past. He seems to be very well versed of, how Bill Nick did it, how Keith Burkershaw did it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's done his homework. Because he knows the worst thing could happen to him is to be caught out at a press conference when he was asked a question about Spurs history and he didn't know the answer. So he's done his homework. Fair dues to him.
Yeah.
And from that point of view, the history, like our history is. We relies a lot on our history because let's face it, there hasn't been much to roar about in our present. So, let's hope he's going to change that he's going to put history where it belongs in the past and make his own history with the club.
Yeah. And then at Mia, it says on what success would look like to bring back European football and put this club where it deserves to be. I want to make a difference and create something that hopefully stays beyond my tenure. I'm sure the fans will tell me what success looks like at the end of the year. Do you know, he's putting it into a nutshell there, isn't he? He's really giving himself. He's saying, right, at the end of the year, the fans, you tell me, isn't he? And it's great to see somebody being as honest.
Yeah, and also, Joe, what else that says to me that he is taking on board what the fans want. He's also thinking about the fans. It isn't just about his ego and what he can do for Tottenham. He's thinking about what the fans would like and how that would make them happy, which I think is really nice because he's not egotistical like that. He's not going to do it for himself, like you can tell he wants to do it for the fans. So I think that he come across again very well.
Yeah, we've got a few more things. Philip, do you want to answer this gentleman's question?
Where did the charity, mate? It went to the Irish Cancer Society. Showed the receipt earlier there on the screen.
There's the receipt there as well. So just
Minerals, go back into the woods where you belong.
So just to prove it's done, it's there.
Minerals in the mud.
Yeah. Jazz Fusion, he's a good fit. The kind of works out, must be given time though. That is my biggest worry. We've got big up to Ben Kaufman. Hello everyone. I am not excited that until we have 2 centre backs in the door. At least I am not getting ahead of myself. I'm already ahead of myself. I'm already there. And we've got big up to DJ Sammy as well. I've got a feeling we might finally win a trophy. Ooh.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Can you imagine how if we did that with Ange, how Conte and Jose, who are highly decorated, known as big managers, they couldn't come to Tottenham and do it, but Ange could do it. That's going to hit their egos a little hard, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, sod their egos. Seriously. I mean, really, the force is going to have to be strong with him, Jazz. If we don't get a decent defenders, either that or he's going to have a tournament. Well, I've got a bit of breaking news on Tottenham and centre-backs. The first bit of news is Edmund Tapsoba's representatives were in London this weekend in order to discuss personal terms with Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs are now set to start talks soon with Bayer Leverkusen with an offer close to €30 million to start off with. Leverkusen want at least 50 million. So where do you think that will end up, guys? Do you think they might end up somewhere in the middle?
50 million, yeah. It's gone up a bit, hasn't it?
Well, they're starting at 30. Do you think they'll meet in the middle?
Maybe 40 will probably get them if there's going to be realism on both sides.
Yeah, Mia?
Yeah, I'd hope that we could get him for 40 because, as we know, it looks like the Van der Ven deal. They've gone up to that amount as well. And if anything, you'd want to get Tapsoba. He was always our main target, and obviously he's more experienced. So I hope that we can get him.
Yeah, we're just, and then big up Drew. It's just, I'm late to the party. Sorry, my eldest son's a PE teacher. He came on early. He was doing relays with the kids, and his hamstring popped.
Oh God.
Oh, that sounds so painful. Ugh.
That sounds very painful. Ben Godfrey's saying 42 million. That's where they might end up. Ben said 50 million pay it, then that's your centre back for 6 years. Just offer players in the deal. It would do the deal. Yeah, we've got Elliot saying, Drew, the big up my niece. And Jazz said, give the 50 before they jack it up to 60.
Is that euros we're talking about now? I presume Germany are looking for euros.
Yeah, okay. Euros. And then also the other bit of news is we will see if an offer from Madrid, Atletico Madrid for Højbjerg can arrive in the next 24 hours. So in the next 24 hours, we're looking for Højbjerg, probably a bit coming in from Atletico Madrid. Philip, Mia, what do you think to Højbjerg? Do you think his time is done at Spurs?
Yep.
Oops.
Even the dog agreed.
The dog agrees.
The dog agrees,
It may well be. I'm not that happy about that, but it may well be. But obviously, Ange has seen something he doesn't think can fit in with his system or whatever. And if we get a decent bid, he'll probably accept it. You know, I think PEH is open to a new move anyway, as far as I can get.
Yeah, I think so. So we also on this one as well, Philip. Tottenham Hotspur reject Bayern Munich second bid for Harry Kane, and they have said if Bayern stumped up the 140 million euro, the bid will be accepted. Now, what's that work out in pounds? It's 120.
About 115, 120, 115.
About 120, I think.
Like that's 80 million euro bid is derisory. It's if we work it out, it's about 60, nearly 70 million, right? Man United paid that for Mason Mount. Almost. So come on, Bayern, get don't insult us by coming in with crap offers like that. If you want him, pay the money. Yeah.
Well, we've got more on Postecoglou's press conference. I'm certain Ange Postecoglou answered questions on Harry Kane's future at today's press conference. And this is what he said. He says, I don't think it's my role to sit there and treat people in a manner because of their circumstances. I treat everyone the same. Harry is already an important figure in the history of this football club. He's one of the premier players in the world. I want him here. I want to make this club successful. I'm certain he wants that as well. It's not going to be a conversation where we come out with some kind of understanding. I just want to introduce myself. I want to know what he wants to happen to make this football club successful. Then we'll go out there on the training ground and make it happen. Mia, look, bring it on. Just bring it on after that.
Yeah, obviously he's saying all the right things when it comes to Harry Kane. He can't obviously be specific. He's saying, I want to meet him. It isn't. I think what he's also saying is, see, like the press are saying, oh, there's this big meeting with Ange. It doesn't sound like to me that is the case. It sounds like he's going to meet him, introduce himself. It isn't going to be a case of sitting down and having any talks about his future. That isn't going to happen. So I think that's very interesting that he kind of specified that it isn't going to be that kind of meeting when he does meet him.
Philip, do you know what's your thought? Look, I think it's great what he said, to be honest.
It looks like it's not going to be sorted out in one meeting, but I just want to make comment about a comment that went through there about £68 million bid for Harry Kane on as the last year of his contract. Arsenal are after paying 105 million or whatever it is for Declan Rice from West Ham. He's on the last year of his contract, but there's not a word about that. Just want to get that in there that, Harry Kane is getting pillared for. The Spurs have been told to accept a lower offer because he's on the last year of his contract, but West Ham can go and get 105 million from Arsenal. But anyway, back at the ranch. It's an interesting comment. I'm just wondering, is Harry going to go on the close season tour? Like there's conflicting reports whether he's back in today or Wednesday. Some say the 10th, some say the 12th. We're flying out on the 13th. So it doesn't exactly give him a lot of time to get to know Ange, does it? One day. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen there. But I like that bit where he says, we'll go out in the training ground and make it happen. You know, he's obviously confident that he will be able to talk Harry into his way of thinking for Spurs in the future. But we'll just have to see what happens. It's really up in the lap of the gods here. But
well, I can give you a bit more. Sorry, Mia, do you want to come in there? Sorry for bringing a bit more.
I was going to say, Ali Gold confirmed it will be Wednesday.
Right, yeah, no, there was some doubt on that.
Yeah.
I find that strange now, to be honest. I think he really should be back in there today to give himself a little bit more time to acclimatize himself to the new surroundings and the new setup there.
This has just been given to me as well. Bayern have around 220 million euros coming in from player sales, so they might come in sooner than we think. So that's the latest on that. So if Bayern have got 220 million, I think they might stump up to 140 million euro. That were really, if they did put that in, I want to ask the question, right? Let's take that for a minute. I want to ask the question, right? And I want you both to be on this sort of thing. If Bayern Munich put in 140 million bid for Harry Kane, will Levy accept it or will he won't accept it? Just what do you guys got feeling telling you?
Yeah, he'll accept it.
I think he'll accept it.
Yeah. I think so, because look at the repercussions if he doesn't. Right, if he doesn't accept it, Harry Kane downs tools, gets the hump because we wouldn't sell him for 140 million, walks off for free next season. Levy is going to get slaughtered. Whereas at least if he does take the 140, we're taking a big chance of getting a replacement in that can do the trick that Harry Kane did, even part of the trick Harry Kane can do. But I think a big bid like that, you just can't turn it down.
Look, we've got a lot of people. I don't trust Levy with the Kane money. I'd rather trust a piranha fish with a finger.
But you know what my comeback with that would be? Is that you're saying that you don't trust Levy with that money, but if we don't have that money next year, then you're not going to have no money to trust anybody with.
That's true, because you walk away for nothing.
That's why I see it.
And with no control over where he goes. And that could bite us back in the ass as well, you know?
Edward says, Ange and Harry will have a piss up the day before flying out.
Get the Fosters out.
We've got Lee Richards. It says, no special treatment for anyone in Ange's team, not even Harry. I like that. Sounds to me that Ange's view is up Harry if he wants to stay or not. Ange isn't going down on his bended knee to beg him to stay. And I think that's what's coming out of that. Philip.
Yeah, look, you can read between the lines, all right. Like, I know he's straight talking, but that's the implication you could take from that, yeah.
So do you think, Mia, that he's sort of putting the ball back in Harry Kane's court? It's up to you, Sunshine.
Well, yeah, I think that the second part when he said, obviously, there's no guarantees he hasn't been guaranteed Harry Kane is staying. So he has also said that, that he doesn't 100% know. So he's sort of like, listen, I'm going to try and tell you what I'm going to tell you, but then the rest of it is down to you, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, look, and there's 63 if you're watching. There's only 22 likes, so please, everyone, hit that like button, please, if you can. The poll at the moment, guys, very excited, 44%, excited, 25%, just happy, 22%, and 9% of you are not excited at all. You're a hard sell. You really are a hard sell. But let's go on anyway. More Ange news. Ange Postecoglou names 2 players who will not be travelling on Spurs pre-season tour. Mia, can you guess one? And Philip, can you guess the other? So Mia, go on, guess one.
I already know who it is, so why am I guessing?
Well, just make a funny guess.
Okay, then. Doris the tea lady.
And you, Philip?
I think it's the cockerel on the top of the South Stand. Or maybe it's the cockerel clock. He mightn't be going.
Yeah, he probably won't be going. I don't know. Philip, is it true a parrot died the day we got relegated?
A what?
A parrot died. The Spurs had a cockerel or a parrot, and that
does ring a bell with me. You know, it does ring a bell. It wasn't a parrot. I think it was an actual live. They used to allow live cockerels on the pitch before the match years and years ago. You know, God Almighty, the RSPCA have a field day on that now. You know. But yeah, they did, I think. Yeah.
I remember one Graham Roberts with a coat trying to chase his cockerel around White Hart Lane. It was so funny.
Yeah. God help the cockerel when he found him. He caught him.
Yeah. Anyway. But anyway,
It's
And
Foster
the
and
players,
Foster and Bentancur, isn't it?
yeah, we do have a couple of Ange says Bentancur is still out. Fraser Foster has a back injury and he won't travel. There's a couple of others. We'll see how they go. I'm ready, like as many of the group as possible to go to begin building that team and the camaraderie.
Yeah,
And that's
good
important.
idea.
It's the last bit to that, isn't it, Philip? It's the
So
last bit.
it's so important because I think we all got the impression that under Conte there was cliques or little groups gathering in the dressing room, each have their own agenda, and that needs to be got rid of completely. You want to have every player on the same hymn sheet whenever we play the first game of the season, and this is a great way of achieving that, or starting to achieve that.
Yeah. Carl Simpson says cock or cock. For fuck's sake. Didn't get his visa in time to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, actually, Jim has got a brilliant comment coming up here, Dermot. You got to put it up. This is absolutely brilliant.
And then also, please, everyone, like the Cockle Clock podcast,
Do you think?
which is every Friday.
Cool,
we're just going through some of the comments here. DJ Green says Vincent Jensen at one end, Longley at the other. Jazz. Yeah. Oh, the horror.
Oh,
where's that one? I think Brian have cooked the goose after speaking about.
Yeah, well, should report them to UEFA as well.
I think Postecoglou might just have the key for Kane to sign a new contract. We'll have to see what happens.
Let's see.
You says Ange will probably say to Kane what he said to Madison: "I'm going to change Tottenham, whether you're here or not."
That's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. Yeah, yeah.
Bring up, if you can find Jim's comment there, Philip. Bring it up there. Big up to Tail Cockrell. So hang on, Philip. Just said Tail Cockrell. Good afternoon, panel in the chat. How are we all this afternoon? And also got Michael McDonald. Ange left Celtic fans with a bad taste. And hang on, Philip. Just let me read this out very quickly. Where is it now? Oh, yeah. Ange left Celtic fans with a bad taste in our mouths. Don't be surprised if he does the same to you. Liverpool is his team. Now, Philip, what do you say to that?
How come Liverpool? He's never managed Liverpool. He never heard Liverpool mentioned. He left Celtic fans. Celtic fans didn't want him to leave, fair enough, but that's because he was so successful with them.
Yeah.
I mean, mention Liverpool, sorry. His contract is to Tottenham for the next 4 years. Any allegiance to any other team is out the window. Out the window completely.
Yeah. And then, we've got here, used to have cockerels on the pitch, now we have donkeys.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's for sure. We've got Lee. Wasn't the parrot dying when Woolwich wrongly got a place in the old First Division after the First World War, after the South London? That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. 1919.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we hate them so much.
Yeah. Just very quickly, so they're not going, and then that was it. Ange had nothing left to say, really. He just said, "That's your lot," dropped his mic and walked out.
He says, "Bugger off, lads. I'm off down the pub."
Yeah, that's it. Mia, get rid of the player committee. Do you agree with that?
I think the problem with it is that you can't stop players forming a committee. Even if you say that it's not an official committee, the problem is that you can't really stop the players grouping and forming some form of a committee, if you like. I do get what you're saying. I think there's probably committees in all teams, but the player power, I hope, will stop now, because I think Ange is going to have a better hold of it, I believe.
He lied to us leading up to his departure. We don't wish him the best. I do like Spurs, though. Well, look,
that's not what I'm hearing from Celtic fans.
That's what I'm hearing. But Michael, let us know what you think about Brendan Rodgers coming back to Celtic. What's your thoughts on that? Are you happy to see him back? He left you in a lot. He left you in more of a worse way than Ange did when Brendan Rodgers left you to go to Leicester. So let us know how you're thinking on the Brendan Rodgers back at the club again. Now, guys, we've got a bit of transfer news. Now, these are all just hearsay. So we're going to rate these out of 10. Now, Tottenham guys are closely following the situation on Marc Cucurella at Chelsea. Spurs are ready to bring in Cucurella, who moved to the Blues from Brighton last summer for £55 million, €65 million, as a replacement for Ivan Perisic. Mia, I'll start with you on this. out of 10, what would you give this transfer for truth? And secondly, would you like him at Tottenham?
I'm not sure about him. I think he was good when he was at Brighton. Not sure about him in Chelsea, but yeah, I wouldn't say it was a very. I also reported this, but I also said have a little bit of caution with the actual validity of it. I think that we probably won't be getting in a Cucurella. Let's be honest. I really don't.
We've got DJ Green alert saying Cucurella on the same team as Romero. Good launch with that hair.
Good luck with the hair. I think he's saying.
Can you? Maybe they'll be really good friends in the end, and they'll plait like he can plait his hair for him. You never know. Yeah. They could plait each other's hair, give each other braids. You know.
Is that two of them in your dungeon, then, Mia?
Oh no, not Cucurella.
So you have to build an extension, Mia.
We're planning permission in.
Planning permission for two Premiership footballers.
Oh dear.
But come here, we spend 65 million or whatever it is on Cucurella without having two centre backs in.
Yeah, but Philip,
it's just crazy. You know?
Yeah, out of 10, what would you give this for a truth? Out of 1 to 10 for truth.
1.
Mia, out of 10, what would you give it?
A -10.
Yeah,
I'm being generous now. I'm being generous, giving it a 1.
Colin says I'm in the dungeon, so she will need an extension on the extension.
The neighbours will be complaining.
Yeah.
I'm actually not attached to anybody. I'm a detached house.
Yeah. Edward says, want the hair affect his headers? Adrian Soccer, big up Adrian. He says, what money we have for transfers is to be spent on centre backs. That's if he does come, it's only because Romero had that much pull. That's a good one. Probably shaved his head when he ain't looking, Mia.
Yeah.
Ben saying Levy's never dealing with Chelsea. End of discussion. Yeah, I think that's
That's one of the reasons we give it such a low score, you know.
But Jim says Cucurella would fit in the Spurs, but too much money, in my opinion.
Oh, he might well do, but I mean, he's not a priority. He's not a priority.
Daniel saying 0, DJ Samuel saying 1.5, and Richie63 saying hi, Mia.
Yeah.
Hi.
There you go. An Everton fan, nice. And we are starting a Premier League transfer weekly show as well, going over the whole Premier League teams, who's going where, what's doing what, and then on transfer deadline day, I'm hoping this year to be on from 12 from the start of business at 12 to the end at midnight or 11 o'clock. We're all going to do shifts on that day on the 1st of September.
The Spurs section will be from 10 to 11 till 11.
Yeah. We'll have Mia outside the club in the 10 car, putting her head out the window saying we ain't buying anyone. We'll have Philip outside White Hart Lane with his little bucket trying to raise some money up to buy a centre back. We'll also have Mia driving a transit van trying to get Romero out of the country as somebody trying to buy him. So a lot could happen on the 1st of September.
I
swear to God, Mia's going to send me a funny letter later. She will be. Anyway.
Yeah, it's going to start with F as well.
Yeah, I know. What the F are you on about? If Levy lets Ange do his job, the play committee shouldn't matter. If players go to Levy to moan, they should be made to train on their own before shipping them out. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I said. Now Ange is here, I don't think that will be an issue. I've got a feeling that won't be an issue anymore.
Yeah. DJ Green alerts, I like this. This is the best one for me of the whole show. He says, Everton fan, thanks. Still talk to us even though we give them Dele Alli. That's fair play.
We still need to get a few bob off Everton for Dele Alli.
Well, what's going to happen with Dele Alli?
He has to play 20 games with him and we get 10 million for him, I think. But there's no chance. He's 13 or 14 done, I think.
What a waste.
There's no way they're going to do that. They're going to sell him. They're going to sell him before.
What a waste of a talent, though, guys, isn't it? Really, what a shame. Look, you could have the Dele debate all day long, but where do you think it went wrong from very quickly?
other things other than football took his eye off the ball really, and started getting involved in other ancillary activities, and thought he was, got in with the wrong crowd basically. These hangers on that he got involved with, telling me what a great guy he was, while probably milking him for all he had at the same time, So now he's a guy that needed someone to put his arm around him and try and say, listen, steer him away back to the football. But he just didn't.
Joe, unfortunately, he comes from a bit of a sketchy, like he's what happened to him, I think, when he was young, and not having maybe the correct people around him as he grew up. And then it's easy to get mixed in with the wrong crowd because people like you and you want to be liked by people. Everybody wants to be liked, but he really did want to be fitting in somewhere, and he just did that with the completely wrong people. From what I heard, one of the times it's allegedly that he did get robbed. Allegedly, he knew those people who did it. So
doesn't surprise me.
That's something that you've got to keep in mind with footballers. It's easy for them to get mixed up with those wrong people. He didn't have a strong unit and a family around him, because if you've got those people who are strong around you, they will make sure they keep you in check. But nobody did, and then he just went down this very bad path, didn't he, of not really keeping an eye on his game.
Yeah, well, I can give you the latest on the Cucurella if you want me. So you can pull back and build in that extension if you like. Just put it into, you can not put it in. There are general doubts over Marc Cucurella's future at Chelsea and interest from Premier League and La Liga clubs. Now, he's also said to me, if I see a story of Chelsea will offer 79 million and Cucurella for Kane, and if they're willing to sit and talk, it's pure BS. So there you go. So there's our source. Give it to me straight.
And can I just say to Daniel E, I wasn't trying to be offensive about his family. I know a little bit about what happened in his background, and I just kind of you can just see that he fell in with the wrong people. Maybe he did fall in with the wrong people, and not have people around him who are going to tell him what for. And that's, do you know what I mean? That's just how I know it from what I've seen. I've seen kids like that in my life. I grew up in London. I've seen kids who do that kind of thing. So it's not like I'm not aware.
Rich 063 said Poch wants to talk to Ali. What's going on with him and wants to help him?
I think that's on a personal basis. That's not a footballing basis. It's just trying to talk.
Well, look, if anyone can help him, I think it would be Poch. Actually,
I think so. It's nice of Poch to do that. Actually, it's pretty good of him now.
I can answer that. The day after he got robbed, Mourinho buried him, and his fights with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Too much too soon. Cared more about building his brand than his game. Bad family situation. Dele will go to Chelsea. Carl Simpson.
No, I doubt it.
Solomon. Yeah, we are going to break this. Solomon is a Spurs player. That is done. It's going to be announced tomorrow. But I got told this morning at 1:00 this afternoon the Solomon deal is done. So we bought another player in. Solomon is now a Spurs family,
and we now await the writ from Shakhtar Donetsk suing us over it.
It's the older woman he was dating messed him up. That was just to help speed him up, apparently. Michael McDonald said, "Is there any good pubs and nightclubs around the Tottenham Stadium, or will I have to travel for a good night out down there? All recommendations welcome." You would probably have to get the train into the West End.
Yeah, there's a few good pubs for match day, all right, but at night time, I wouldn't think it's great around there.
No, it isn't. If you want to go to a nightclub in Leicester Square called Tiger, that is a great nightclub. It's
the one you were barred from. That's the one you were barred
from.
No,
I'm not barred from there for them.
Okay.
No, it doesn't actually have a lift, no. But no, it's a great nightclub in there, and there's great casinos around there and everything. Worked around there for years. It's right near Chinatown and Soho. Well, I wouldn't recommend going to Soho.
Werewolves of London, huh?
No, nothing to do with werewolves. I just wouldn't go to Soho.
I think of Warren Zevon's song, talks about Soho in the rain and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Any recommendations for London, Mia? For Michael?
Joe, what? I don't really go out in London, or I haven't done for a long time now. So not really. I don't really do that thing anymore. I'm too much of a home person.
Yeah, what's the pub near the stadium, Philip, before the game?
Oh God, the Bill Nick.
The Corner Pin.
Corner Pin, yeah, and the Bill Nick.
Yeah, and the one we were in with Ellie. Do you remember me and Ellie were in before the AC Milan match? Oh
yeah, what was that one though?
before we went to stand in the rain
God, yeah,
when the
that
fella
match,
couldn't get
Jesus.
his machine to work. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, every second ticket wouldn't register. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. Do you know something? I actually forget the name of that pub. Beaverstown. Is it Beaverstown? No.
Yeah, Beaverstown. Yeah, the Beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were fun. And then Carl said Dermot was banned as he pushed the dance. Oh yeah, very funny. Oh bloody hell. Oh, yeah, very funny, Carl Simpson.
No,
But
Joe,
anyway,
what he's going to do next? He's going to be going underneath the Cockerel clock and doing a bit of a dance.
I'll give up with you two. Do not.
Oh, dear.
Well, listen, if you are enjoying the show, please hit the like button and the subscription button as well if you can. And please pick up your memberships. They're only $2.99, cheaper than Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. And I tell you, get more for your buck with us than you do with them. But people might disagree with me, but I'm convinced you would. You will. And also, if you can help us out with the super chat, it does help. We are trying with new graphics, and we do this out of our own time. So any bit we get from you does help the channel grow, and it helps us grow. And like it helped me grow, it would help us grow as well. So I know it's a tough time out there. We will bring up your comments in the chat. We always do. Make sure we always bring up everyone's questions. But if you can afford one, it does help. I feel like I got a begging bowl out, Philip, every time I say that. I must come up with something new. Maybe we should do a video, Philip, of you just one of those videos.
Sorry, what I don't like your implying. What are you implying there, Mister?
No, the videos you see, you get them videos that come on. Please help us for.
Oh yeah. Yes. They're doing Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Please, sir. Yeah. We've got Dermot was banned for walking into ladies' room by mistake. I'm saying nothing on that point. The Antrim Arms, because beer is good and it's not owned by Enoch. Big up Ben. It's raining Dermo. Oh, very funny. Very funny, Carl. Oh, bloody hell. For the AC Milan, we're in Bahrain.
That's right.
Bahrain. He says he's taking notes here. Nice one. Yeah, just stay out Soho. Yeah, stay out Soho. Exactly. That's all I'm going to say. You says, I think Dele needs Poch. He had an important part in the system, but as Eriksen and other important players weren't replaced, he became a shadow of himself and began to talk. Look, I'm going to come back to the transfer news very quickly, but I want to ask a question to the two of you. And I'll start with you, Philip. Look, we all remember George Best being a genius of a player, right? And he had Law, Charlton, the great Man United team in the late 60s, right? Won the European Cup. He always said afterwards he was waiting for the team to rebuild. It never did. And then you start seeing his career take a nosedive.
Yeah.
Do you think the same thing could be put at Dele Alli? He didn't see any ambition for Tottenham and he just lost interest.
I don't know. I think it's more complex than that. I mean, George Best was a kind of more simpler case. I mean, George Best was probably the ultimate party animal. He's probably the first party animal from a footballing point of view. George Best's famous comment was he spent 75% of his money on wine, women and song, and the other 25% he wasted. So I don't know if Dele Alli did quite along those lines yet, but I think other things outside football took over his priorities, and it's very hard, long road. It's a long road back when that happened.
Yeah.
I don't think the club had anything to do with it, to be honest with you, the team.
No.
I just think it was him.
Yeah. Do you think that, Mir, do you know what I mean? When you look at Georgie Best, I mean, Georgie Best was probably one of the greatest players this country ever produced. Pure genius. But do you think it was that he didn't see any, or do you think it was just outside influences, just too much? As DJ Green said, no, it was too much going on outside. There were young kids that are sheltered for so long. Do you think it's just that?
Yeah, I agree with DJ and with Philip. To be honest, I think it's more complex than that, and I feel like there's other layers to it with Dele.
Yeah, I think so too. Michael's asking, is anything you miss about White Hart Lane, Philip?
There is actually. It's when you come up those steps into the stand and you look down, you're looking sheer down onto the pitch. It was just, you were so close to the pitch. I know we're not too far away from the new stadium, but I think it was just the I don't know, there was a kind of a smell of the ground. It was like a real football ground. It was old. It was I don't know, there's so many things you could say. The blue seats, the floodlights, the cockerel over the thing, the stand. The team coming out from that little tunnel in the middle of the ground, little things like that. They can never replace.
Never lined up with the tunnel.
No, that's true. That's true.
Do you know why that happened? I'll tell you how that happened. I'll tell you in a minute.
Were you building that one as well, were you?
No, I wasn't. That had nothing to do with that. Mia, anything you missed about White Hart Lane?
I'm going to concur with what Philip said, really. It's the atmosphere, the closeness to the pitch. It just felt cozy, didn't it? It felt like it was cozy. And actually, when my brother did the tour before we built the new stadium, we did the tour of White Hart Lane. So yeah, I feel like it was just that kind of like old-fashioned stadium feel, isn't it? Like that's something that you don't see very much anymore. So
they're a dying breed. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it's just a lovely stadium, and the turnstiles as well, which are gone now. Remember, we used to go through the metal turnstiles to get into the thing. That's all gone now as well. Now they just scan your ticket.
For me, the atmosphere, the way it used to be, everyone used to be close together.
Yeah,
there was no. And it was like, the centre circle, right? When they built the new West Stand, right, nobody thought of measuring the length of the pitch to put the tunnel, that the tunnel was in the same place where the centre circle is.
That's right.
So they built the stand. Then some bright spark, when the stand was built, said, have you measured the pitch for the tunnel entrance? And they couldn't move the pitch upwards. So that's why it was left like it was. It was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. It was so unique.
Plus, something, that West Stand, when it was built, I know it was unique and it was great at the time. It had the executive boxes, but it killed the atmosphere. Because most of the people that went to the West Stand would come to the match, sit down with a prawn sandwich, who we playing? They had no idea. The real fans were on the other parts of the ground. Yeah. With offense to anybody that was in the West Stand, but I was in the West Stand a couple of times now. I would never go back to it. I would never have gone back to it.
I was always in the East Stand. That was my stand for me. Lower East Stand for me. Yeah. Always. I sat in the higher East Stand once. Great, but I preferred lower East Stand. So big up. We've got Park Lane. We've got you saying George Best had a drink. These days, youngsters have social media.
Yeah, that's it.
The atmosphere just isn't the same though. The history. That's the major thing we miss. The history. Yes, Redknapp, the Southern Limelight. Then we've got Jazz Fusion. Got to see Best play in the States for a bit. Good times. We had a good team back then. Michael McDonald said, you must prefer the new gaff, though. It looks amazing.
Oh, well, it is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's an incredible stadium.
Do you know what, Philip? If somebody said to me, you could have a championship winning side, win the Champions League, be successful for the next 10 years, but you got to have White Hart Lane. Yeah. I would take White Hart Lane.
Oh yeah, I think we all would. But the fact is, like, the stadium was built with an eye to the future. I mean, it is futuristic. It is brilliant. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
But Mia, do you think the stadium was built not just for football in mind? Do you think all football clubs will go that way eventually? That the new stadiums will be multi-sport stadiums? Do you know what I mean? To bring in extra revenue.
Yeah, no, they will. I think that other clubs are looking into doing that, if I'm honest. It isn't going to be just us that does that, Joe. I feel like that will happen. Joe, what else I was going to say about the old stadium? I've got the tiniest legs, I'm small. But every time someone tried to get past you in the old stadium, you literally had to squeeze to get someone to let someone go past you. So it's so funny because I'm such a little person. I haven't got long legs, but I remember thinking that this is really tight, like people have to really squeeze past you.
Now, guys, I know, I remember that. Now, we have here, where is it now? Okay, there. Okay. Now, Sanchez Philip, you brought this up, the story today. Now, look, we're going in for Nelson again.
Yeah, who wants to come to us? Who's mad to come to us?
Yeah,
really wants to transfer. And there's talk now that they're going to offer Davis and Sanchez as a kind of a make weight to take maybe 6 or 9 million quid off the transfer fee. So that would actually be a good deal. That would actually be a very good deal.
We got, this is what he says. Victor Nelson is determined to seal the switch to Tottenham this summer, even though the North London club have not been able to agree on the transfer fee for Galatasaray for the centre-back so far. And also, for guys, on the flip side of that, Spurs might go in for VDV at 35 million. It would be at least 5 million under the asking price, but Spurs won't pay more than that it stands. I also heard, guys, that the other thing that's holding up, Spurs want to loan them out straight away. And they want to loan him back to Wolfsburg, but Wolfsburg don't want him.
Right, okay.
So what do you think is going to be the more realistic transfer coming through, Mia? VDV or Nelson? Which one do you think will get him first?
I heard the opposite, Dermot. I heard that the reason that we won't deal with them is because they want Mickey van der Ven back, and we don't want to do that. I heard it was that way round, because it obviously means that we wouldn't have the centre-back that we need. But at the minute, it feels like the Nelson one is more realistic, because we've got a player that we can get some money back. We could do it like what we did with Winks. Don't do it as a direct extra, like add it onto that deal, but we'll do it as a separate deal, which means we do get some of the money back.
Can I just say to any Galatasaray fans that are watching, Davinson Sanchez is a brilliant centre-back. He is so good. He's so good. You'll be really. It's our loss that you're going to get him. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Philip will be.
People going to be crying and everything when he leaves.
Philip will have to ring up. Philip will have to go to an AA meeting or Sanchez.
I'm bringing the Samaritans. I'm bringing the Samaritans if he leaves.
Yeah, and also he'll be going to Sanchez Anonymous after if he leaves, because he'd be so distraught to know that. And then Mia will be. I don't know how you're going to break it to Romero, Mia, in your dungeon. I don't know how you're going to do it. Have you got any
I'm
plans?
sure I'll find a way.
Oh, God, here we go again.
I'm so sure I'll find a way. I didn't say nothing more than that. Some people.
But loaning Van der Ven back is absolute bullshit, to be honest with you. We need a centre back. We don't need to buy one and give him back from the team he's coming
that's
from.
what I heard.
I know, but I'm only saying it'd be a crazy scenario if it ever came to pass, you know.
We've got guests here. Fans make atmosphere, not enough alcohol being drunk.
Jeez, I don't know about that. We were in the bar before and after the AC Milan game, and by God, there was, I don't know, there's thousands of pints being drunk. Remember them? They were just flying.
Philip, we were devastated after that.
Well, I'm saying before they were drinking as well. You know.
I tell you one thing about that trip. I went over with Dave and Jack, and I had a great time with Dave and Jack. Really enjoyed it. Right, a few days before, and we were at the stadium, and Dave and Jack went round for a stadium tour, and me and Ellie were in the cafeteria. Ellie would vouch me for this. We actually saw where they do the VAR room in Tottenham.
All right.
It's actually right at the back. You could see all the cameras for the VAR, and they're all getting ready for the match. Yeah, it's really interesting.
I thought the VAR was all done at Stockley Park. It was all done centrally.
No, there is one in the ground itself.
Okay, nice.
Michael Madonna says, Kintam, I'm well aware how good and bad we were with all our managers, but Ange is good. As good as lied to us. Be prepared. That's my advice.
I'd love to know what the lie was. Michael, tell us what the lie was, because we're not aware of that, you know.
I don't think he ever said, "Oh, I'm going to stay," and then leave. He just said he wasn't really. He didn't really specify, did he, about it? Because he wasn't going to sign another. It's because his contract was up, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was.
So it's not like he signed another contract and then went back on that. He didn't sign another contract. So
no cheese room is unforgivable. I don't know what that's about.
Remember they're putting the cheese room into the ground. There's no cheese room.
Oh yeah. Daniel is. I think we'll end up with no top. So, but VDD on there soon. We'll end up with Tosin and Longley on September the 1st.
No, I think we'll get at least one of them. I really do. I think we'll get one.
Sanchez may be okay over there. Different place for different systems. Look how Carter Vick has fitted.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Carl is also saying something. Where is Carl now? I don't know what it's saying. But listen, guys, that is it for today. That's all we've got. We've got no more news. We've got no more stories. Philip's about now to go to, I don't know what Philip's about to go and get his throat ready for Wednesday. And Mia be down. I don't know what you up to with Romero in the dungeon, Mia. Are you going to give him his dinner or?
Yeah, I might do if he behaves.
Pack his bag for Australia. That's what she could be doing.
Can we just actually put it out there? Mia has not got a dungeon, and Romero's not in it. Isn't that true, Mia?
No, that is very true.
Yeah.
Also, I'm only 4 away from 770 subscribers. So if you could please go over and subscribe.
Well, we're going to give you a chance to plug your channel in a minute. We've got Michael McDonald. He gave us the impression he was staying. I had to put it up with Celtic fans. I had to put up with Celtic fans telling me he was staying for 2 weeks. He fooled them, not me.
I don't know. That's an interpretation of it. I don't know. I take your point, Michael, but I don't know.
I tell you, I would love to get a Celtic fan on actually in one debate show, Philip. Actually get Celtic fan. So Michael, if you want to come on, we find our information on the channel. Email us and we'll sort you out and get you on a debate show or a podcast. And we'll get to hear what your side of the story is on the Celtic thing. Very quickly, Mia, we've got correction. Mia has got a dungeon, but Romero doesn't stay in it. She does have a dungeon. Myself and Romero play Uno in it. There you go. Ellie said, enjoyed the show, but dungeons doesn't exist. That's the big disappointment. Oh, well, hang on. Is Romero locked up? Yeah, that's true. And Mia, do you want to give your channel Spurs Between the Lines a big plug? Come on. Thank you for coming on today.
No worries.
And
yes.
You never come on the Monday. This is rare for you.
Yeah.
You're always on the Tuesday with me and Ellie, so this is rare for you.
I haven't been on all weekend, have I? So I thought I'd give you guys a treat and come on the Monday.
You got 2 days with Mia, today and tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying. You missed out for a couple of days, and now I'm making sure I make up for it. Go over please to Spurs Between the Lines and give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate if you like what I've got to say. I always like to hear everyone's opinions. So I want everybody, like as many people as possible's opinions, really, because it's nice to just have that community of all of us having a chat about the thing that we love, which is Tottenham. So go over and subscribe.
Before we go, we've just closed the poll. How excited are you after Ange's first press conference? Philip, who do you think's won? Very excited, just happy, excited, or no, not excited at all?
I'd say the first one.
Yeah, very excited, 44%, just happy, 25%, excited, 21%, and 8% of you are not excited at all.
Yeah.
So, look, we always leave it on this. We're going to bring up our favourite person. And this is Mia. As soon as the show finishes, and she knows she has to go to the dungeon for Colum and Romero, but who's she going to pick? Now, on that breaking bombshell,
breaking glass,
all very much for watching. God bless you. We're back tomorrow at 4 with Newsbeat with myself, Ellie, and Mia. Any breaking news between the now and tomorrow at 4, we will bring it to you live. Please, everyone, get over to the Irish Hotspur tonight at 7 o'clock for the fan show. Philip, you're in Dublin tomorrow, so we won't see you back to Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we've got loads of new stuff coming up, haven't we, Philip, with the show? We've got the watch along next Monday. We're actually going to do a pre-match to that. We're going to do a pre-match and a post-match to the West Ham game. Next week, we're going to swing back into it. But thank you all for watching. Come on, you Spurs. And then Ange.
Come on, you Spurs.